Everything seemed to be going perfectly for Hayley. Just as she was beginning to believe she had defeated everyone, the ground beneath her feet began to crack, and the one wielding the hammer was none other than Lynette. From the very beginning of this arc, I could already sense that Lynette was not going to remain a passive piece on the board. She is not the type of character who fades quietly into the background, and now she has fully stepped into her role as a disruptor, as a force that turns Hayley's carefully constructed illusion into something fragile and unstable. The way she appears right when Hayley's plan is nearing success feels almost poetic, as if the story itself is demanding balance, forcing Hayley to confront the consequences of her past deception. What makes this even more compelling is how Lynette does not just confront Hayley directly, she traps her, slowly and deliberately, tightening the pressure with every demand. This is not a one-time act of blackmail, this is a strategy, a long game, and I can already see where it is heading. Lynette is not here to take a single payout and disappear. She is here to take control, to reshape the power dynamic entirely. Hayley, on the other hand, is starting to feel the weight of her own lies, and it shows in the way she reacts. She believes, or perhaps she wants to believe, that agreeing to Lynette's outrageous condition, buying a penthouse, will be enough to make her go away. But that is where Hayley fundamentally misunderstands the situation. This is not a transaction. This is leverage. And once someone like Lynette has leverage, she will never let it go. I find it almost ironic how Hayley, who once manipulated others so effortlessly, is now the one being manipulated. And not just manipulated, but controlled. Lynette has turned her into something close to a puppet, pulling strings through fear, through secrets, through the threat of exposure. The past that Hayley thought she had buried is now the very thing chaining her down. And what makes Lynette even more terrifying in this moment is her persistence. She is not asking, she is demanding. And every demand feels more excessive than the last. It is clear to me that this will escalate. Today it is a penthouse. Tomorrow it could be something even bigger, something even more impossible. Lynette is testing the limits of what Hayley will do to keep her secrets hidden. And so far, Hayley is proving that there is no line she will not cross. At the same time, the situation becomes even more layered with Bill's involvement. Bill stands in the middle of all this chaos, and yet he is operating under a completely different understanding of reality. He sees fragments, he senses something is wrong, but he does not see the full picture. And that is where Hayley's performance becomes crucial. I have to admit, Hayley plays her part well. When Bill starts to question her, when he approaches her with concern, influenced by Martin's earlier warnings, Hayley does not crumble. She adapts. The fear she shows, the hesitation, the emotional tension, it all feels real enough to convince Bill that she is a victim rather than a perpetrator. This is where the story becomes truly fascinating for me, because we are watching a deception within a deception. Hayley is not just hiding the truth, she is reshaping it in real time, turning suspicion into sympathy. Bill sees her distress and interprets it as evidence that she is being threatened, possibly by criminals, and that misinterpretation becomes the foundation for everything that follows. And Hayley sees that opening immediately. This is the moment where her survival instincts take over completely. Instead of continuing to struggle under Lynette's control, she shifts the narrative, she redirects the danger, and she does it with precision. She takes everything Lynette has done, every threat, every demand, and she reframes it in a way that makes Lynette the villain in Bill's eyes. It is a bold move, and honestly, a very dangerous one, because if it fails, Hayley loses everything. But if it works, she not only frees herself from Lynette, she turns Bill into her weapon. And that is exactly what seems to be happening. Hayley presents herself as someone who has been silently enduring pressure and intimidation for a long time. Someone who has been forced into strange behavior because she had no other choice. She builds this narrative carefully, making it believable, making it emotional, making it something Bill cannot easily dismiss. What stands out to me is how she goes even further. She does not just accuse Lynette. She tries to control how Bill will perceive anything Lynette might say in the future. She labels Lynette as a liar, someone who cannot be trusted, someone whose words should be ignored completely. That is not just defense, that is preemptive control. And if Bill accepts that framing, then Lynette loses her voice before she even has a chance to speak. It is a ruthless move, and in a way, it mirrors what Lynette has been doing to Hayley. Both of them are using information, perception, and fear as tools. Both of them are trying to dominate the narrative, and now they are on a direct collision course. But what complicates things further is Bill's own actions behind the scenes. While Hayley believes she is successfully manipulating him, there is another layer she is completely unaware of. Bill did not accept Tomas's resignation. Instead, he gave Tomas a new role to investigate Lynette. This changes everything, because while Hayley is trying to eliminate Lynette by turning Bill against her, Tomas might uncover truths that neither of them are prepared for. And Tomas is not someone who will simply accept surface-level explanations. He will dig deeper, he will connect dots, and if he finds inconsistencies, the entire structure Hayley has built could collapse. Still, at this moment, it feels like Hayley is winning. She has managed to redirect suspicion, she has positioned Lynette as the problem, and she has gained Bill's sympathy and support. It is a temporary victory, but it is a significant one. And yet, I cannot shake the feeling that this is only the beginning of something much more dangerous. Because Lynette is not the kind of character who goes down quietly. We have already seen what she is capable of, how she can rise from nothing and build power through sheer determination and cunning. She has already turned Hayley's life upside down once, and I refuse to believe that she will simply accept defeat now. If anything, this betrayal, this attempt by Hayley to throw her under the bus, will only push Lynette further. I can already imagine the shift in her mindset. Up until now, her actions may have been driven by opportunity, by the chance to exploit Hayley's past for personal gain. But now, it becomes personal. Now it is about revenge. And revenge changes everything. A Lynette driven by revenge is far more dangerous than a Lynette driven by greed. She will not just want money, she will want to destroy Hayley completely, to take everything from her, just as she feels Hayley is trying to do to her. At the same time, Hayley is not exactly stepping into safety. Even if she manages to get rid of Lynette for now, her ambitions do not stop there. She is already thinking ahead, already planning her next move, and that move is even darker. The idea that she might be planning to poison Bill for the insurance money adds another layer of tension that I cannot ignore. It shows just how far she is willing to go, how little regard she has for anyone else's life if it stands between her and what she wants. But this is where I think she is making her biggest mistake. Because dealing with Lynette is one thing, but targeting Bill is something else entirely. Bill is not just another obstacle. He is connected. He is observant. And now he already has suspicions, even if they are misdirected. If Hayley pushes too far, if she becomes too reckless, she risks exposing herself in ways she cannot control. And then there is Tomas, quietly investigating, potentially uncovering truths that could tie everything together. What fascinates me most about this situation is how all the characters are moving based on incomplete information. Hayley thinks she has outsmarted Lynette. Lynette likely believes she still has leverage. Bill thinks he is protecting Hayley from an external threat, and Tomas is searching for answers that none of them are ready to reveal. It is like a web, each thread connected, each movement affecting the others, and it feels like it is only a matter of time before everything snaps. If I had to predict where this is heading, I would say that the conflict between Hayley and Lynette is far from over. In fact, it is just entering its most intense phase. Both of them have proven that they are willing to manipulate, deceive, and destroy to get what they want. And now that they are directly opposing each other, there will be no easy resolution. I would not be surprised if Lynette finds a way to turn the situation back on Hayley, perhaps by uncovering something even more damaging, something that even Bill cannot ignore. And if that happens, Hayley's carefully crafted image will crumble instantly. At the same time, Hayley's plan involving Bill feels like a ticking time bomb. Even if she succeeds in the short term, the long-term consequences could be catastrophic. Insurance schemes, poisoning, deception, these are not things that remain hidden forever. And that brings me to what I think might be the ultimate outcome of this entire storyline. Neither Hayley nor Lynette wins. Because when two people are this manipulative, this greedy, this willing to cross every line, the most likely result is mutual destruction. They will push each other further and further, escalating the conflict until it reaches a point where there is no turning back. And at that point, Bill, who has been caught in the middle of all this, might finally see the truth. If that happens, I can easily imagine a scenario where both Hayley and Lynette are exposed, their schemes laid bare, their actions undeniable. And when that truth comes out, it will not just be a personal betrayal, it will be a legal one. The idea that both of them could end up facing consequences together, possibly even prison, feels like a fitting end to a story built on deception and manipulation. But until we get there, the journey is what makes this so compelling. Watching Hayley scramble to maintain control, watching Lynette refuse to back down, watching Bill try to piece together a reality that keeps shifting beneath him, it all creates a tension that is impossible to ignore. And right now, at this exact moment, it feels like the calm before a much bigger storm. Because if there is one thing I am certain of, it is this: Lynette is not finished. And Hayley has just made her most dangerous enemy even more determined.